Hi, good morning. Today we will look at the 4 questions that was given as homework yesterday. Okay, so let's look at the first question. We have vertices of triangle. So these are the 2 points, the 3 points of A, B, and C. So given there, and find the lengths. So we can use the length formula for the first part of the question here. So to find AB, length of AB, we just write down the coordinates of A and the coordinates of B and use the formula to get the answer of 3.61 units. So this is x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square with a square root overall. Okay, same goes for the length of BC. So for the length of BC, we write down the coordinates of B and the coordinates of C and use the formula again. So here will be x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. We can individually work out the answers. So we have 9 plus 4 with a square root, so square root 13, and then we have 3.61 again. And similarly for for the last part, which is the point C and point A, so to get the length of CA, we will just use the formula again. So this is the formula that is being used over and over again to get the length of CA. So it's best that you write down the coordinates and then you can compare which one is x2, which one is y2 to get your answers. So eventually the answers will be 5.10 units. Okay, so the next question we have here, it says what type of triangle is triangle ABC? So this is part B. So if you look at the lengths that you have calculated, you will notice that we have 2 units here, 3.61, AB and BC to be the same. So when you have two sides the same and the last one is not the same, it is an isosceles triangle. Okay, next part of the question. Find the perpendicular distance from B to AC. So here I have roughly sketched the coordinates onto an XY axis space here, and notice that the AB and the BC, okay, isosceles triangle just now. So with this kind of properties, when you have the perpendicular distance from B to AC, this will be the answer. So I'm going to put X as the answer. So this will be the distance from here to here will be the answer for part C. So being isosceles, this line here will stop right in the middle of A and C. So if we study A and C, to get to the middle value here, okay, you look at A actually has a value of 2 here because the y coordinates of A is 2. So C has a y coordinates of 3. So between 2 and 3, it is 2.5. Okay, so how do I get this 2.5? Between 2 and 3, I will just add up 2 plus 3 divided by 2. Then I will get the number between 2 and 3. So this is 5 over 2, which is 2.5 or 2.5. Okay, for the x coordinate, we will look at the x coordinate of A and C and get the number in between. So A, the number here is -1. C is 4. So in between negative 1 and 4, it is 1.5. So again, working wise, between negative 1 and 4, okay, negative 1 and 4, to get what's in the middle, I'll divide by 2, I get 3 over 2, then this is 1.5. So middle for the y coordinates is 2.5, middle value for the x coordinate is 1.5. So this is the coordinates at the bottom here. Okay, so you just need to find the length between 1,5 and 1.5, 2.5. So we already have the distance formula. So from there, we will use the distance formula to get 2.55. So the points are 1,5 here and 1.5, 2.5. So you can see, if you find the distance, I'm choosing x2 minus x1, so x2 minus x1, and then y2 minus y1, so y2 minus y1, and get the value of square root 6.5. 3SF will be 2.55 units. Okay, the last part of the question, which is D here. Okay, to find the coordinates of the point at which the line cuts, the line AC cuts x-axis. So first thing first, we need to find the equation of AC, and then after that, since it cuts the x-axis, we need to find the x-intercept. Okay, so we did it before in our graph sketching. To find x-intercept, we need to substitute y equals to 0. Okay, so we'll find the equation of AC, and then after that we will sub y equals to 0 into the line AC. So the working here for part D consists of 2 steps. We have to find the equation of the line AC and then sub y equals to 0 for x-intercept. Okay, this one was already covered before. I hope you remember the S, X, Y, LT when we were sketching the graph, and we need to find the x-intercept, so we will sub y equals to 0. So to find the equation of AC, so as always we will write down A and C at the side. So A will be negative 1,2, C 4,3, and then since AC is a line, is y equals to mx plus c. Get the m. So the m will be the gradient formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you can just refer to these two coordinates. So 3 minus 2 over 4 minus negative 1, and you get 1 over 5. So m can be updated with 1 over 5 here. So we will get c by using one of the points. So I'm choosing 4,3 here to substitute inside. So here x equals to 4, y equals to 3. So I'm replacing the y as 3, the x as 4, and as I move on, I will get the value of c, which is 2 and 1 over 5. So 2 and 1/5 will be the value of c. So I will replace this 2 and 1/5, and I'll get the equation of AC. So the equation of AC will be 1/5 x plus 2 and 1/5. So to get the second step, which is the x-intercept, just substitute y equals to 0 into this equation. So I will have 0 equals to 1/5 x plus 2 and 1/5. So here's the working. For substituting y equals to 0 into the line y equals 1/5 x plus 2 and 1/5. So I have 0, like I said earlier, equals to 1/5 x plus 2 and 1/5. So move the 1/5 x to the left, you get negative 1 over 5x move the negative 1 over 5x to the other side, it becomes divide by negative 1 over 5x, and then press the calculator, you get negative 11. So combine negative 11 and y0 here and form a coordinates. So x coordinate will be negative 11, y coordinates will be 0. So this will be the coordinates of the on the x-axis. This x equals to 11 is the x-intercept. Then we convert this to the coordinates. That means x part here is negative 11, y coordinates will be 0. So the answer is negative 11, 0.